So today's webinar is about how to stay up to date in your field, in your academic field or field of business that you are in. My name is Farhad and I'm an evidence and information scientist. I've been providing evidence and information consultancy for about 20 years. And here I'm sharing part of what I've learned with the wider community. And I hope that you could enjoy and use some of these tips in your career. Why I decided to go ahead with this webinar is that I realized that it is much needed, not only for my colleagues, for students, for anyone in the world. We are bombarded with the information. We have too much information to deal with. We have little time and we have no money. And when we are facing with the information, we are paying either with time or money or both. And the worst case scenario is that you pay with your time and money. The good example is this webinar. It is a free webinar, but in reality, you are spending your time. You are not spending your money, but you are spending your time for this webinar. So you are paying with your time. When you are watching Netflix or TV, you are spending both your time and the money because you've paid for the subscription or TV license and you are watching it as well. So you are double paying. So it is very important to remember that whenever we are facing information, how we are paying for it. Fear of missing out is something that many businesses are using against people to say that there are information are important. If you miss them, you are going to miss an opportunity. And they are using it against people. Sometimes you are seeing that there are some news, you don't want to miss them, but just to learn from one news, you have to watch 1 hour of the news that you didn't want. And there are similar many cases that I could mention. But information at the same time is power. Some people say knowledge is power because I read somewhere that who we are today depends on the people that we met and the books that we read. It means the information, the quality of information that we receive actually are becoming our future and who we are. And if I want to make it even more tangible for you, information makes changes to your life and career. There might be a great job opportunity, but you may miss it. And if you miss the deadline, you cannot apply for it. There might be a great opportunity to make a move in life. And if you miss it, then there will be absolutely no way to get back to it. And these are the fears that we are facing it. And it is becoming more important than food because we think about food maybe 2-3 times a day, but information is flooded. And it has impact on our physical, mental, and emotional health. The information tells us what to eat, how much to eat, how to sleep, and the things that people usually before the age of internet were not that much thinking about it, but now it is all over the place. And information is the base for any decision that we make. If we receive incomplete information, if we receive misinformation, low quality information, based on that, our decision may change and we may make bad decisions or wrong decisions. And we have constant stress and anxiety and depression that is caused by many sort of information. Those who expose the information as an intervention, they are getting good or bad, let's say, outcomes. It could be side effects. Those who miss the information also may have side effects of missing them. So it is very important how we are dealing with information. So my favorite analogy for the information is food. Look at the information as the food. And we have three main meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some people don't have time, so they go for the fast food or processed food. So the information that has been presented readily in short format, like TikTok videos to them, social media posts, and the visuals. And then we are hearing in the media about this organic content, the people who are creating genuine high quality content, or organic followers or organic subscribers. So these are the people that actually are interested in a content, and that's why they follow you or they subscribe to your channel. And you may also notice that the best strategy that people are now looking for is fast food, but in a way that it is healthy and organic. And we hate to see advertisement. We hate to see promotions coming in the middle of the useful information. These are bad fat, sugar, and salt that are not good for health. And then if you go to a restaurant for a good meal, they come with the starter, main, and dessert. Sometimes there are sides of French fries and toast. And in online environment, we still have cookies and ads. And while the purpose of the cookies initially was good, now they are being used for the advertisement purpose and tracking our activities online. So we have to deal with this as well. So these are the side effects of when we want to get the information from websites. We have to deal with the cookies and advertisement. And then there is junk food. That are fed to us. And these are the information that comes from media and social media, TV, and the streaming services. And then snacks. Occasionally, we have extra time. You take your phone out and start browsing. It could be this webinar, it could be a YouTube channel, or it could be unhealthy information snacks like social media posts and the media. Personal information management is a broad category. It has not been studied widely in academia, even though it is very, very important. And the main reason is that it is personal. And because it is personal, many people hesitate to share it. But let's see what categories of information we are dealing with and how we are going to keep up with all of this. One category of information is your identification information, including your passport, birth certificate, visas, anything related to your identity, social security number, national insurance number, tax number, and all of this information. We are very careful that this identity information are not being passed to others because they could be stolen easily. We have shopping lists, things that we buy, groceries, and that is part of the information that we don't usually share with others. It is on our list. You have calls, notifications, text messages that you are receiving on your phone. You are receiving mails in your mailbox and emails. All information, personal information. And then there are financial information, your bank information, statements, if you are paying mortgage or rent in your house, if you have made any investments, and then credit cards. And then you have household information and the people who are living in this household, including who they are, what is their food allergies, what are their interests, when they are going out, when they are coming in. These are all personal information. What is their plan, their birthdays, when they go on holiday, what is the furniture in this house? Are you going to buy furniture? Are you going to insure furniture? The information related to the maintenance of the house, annual gas check, boiler check. If you have a car, information related to the car. If you have a garden, about the maintenance of the garden. And then the bills that you pay. All of these related to the household information. And then you have a wish list, the things that you want to get, you want to achieve. More futuristic. It might be getting married, it might be getting a pet, having a child, and all of this sort of information, big information. Or you may want to see 100 countries or travel to Africa. So all of this on your wish list. And then you have travel information and planning for the travel and the events. Beside that, there are emergency informations. What happens if we hit a pandemic, if something, a crucial illness happens, if a war starts, and all of this, and critical illness insurance, let's say, all of that information. And then you have your healthcare information, dental records, vision records, and prescriptions. And finally, future planning, like retirement, wealth management, and future investments that you've made. But the part that we are going to deal in this webinar is mainly related to the work and the career that you have, the task that you do on daily basis, the main part of the day and the most useful part of the day that allocated to your to-do list, and for your career development and also your business development if you're running a business. What is important to remember is that the information environment is changing constantly. So whatever we knew, whatever existed, it is changing constantly. It is like you are driving and you need to be always aware of what is happening around you, because things change rapidly and you need to notice if there is any change that has any impact in your steering. Information management in simple words is when you have information need, you collect information to answer those needs, you may organize them, and you may process them. When the information, when processed, they become useful, usually called knowledge. In a context, this knowledge could become a wisdom, and if it is not something that many people are aware of and only you possess it, it becomes intelligence. You may have heard of business intelligence. So these are the information that, for example, only certain people know and they don't share it with everyone. If we look at information and data as the ingredients for a food, when processed, it becomes something useful, knowledge. And when we use this information for a purpose, usually it is knowledge. So we have a lot of information. A lot of information has been imposed to us on daily basis, but they are not useful, so they don't end up becoming knowledge. But anyway, you may store this information in your cloud, in your computer, in the folders at home. You may disseminate this information to your other colleagues, to family members on social media. You may use the information and you may update this information. So that is a general terminology to say what information management is. But to access the information and stay up to date, we have two major approaches. One of them is push. And the push is when the information is being pushed toward you. So you probably have shared your email address with a website through registration, or you may have shared your phone number with someone and then they call you to share the information, or they may email you, they may send emails to you. So this is called the push. And pull is when you request the information, when you go on a search engine and search for something. So that is called pull. So you are pulling the information from the source. A combination of these two usually works for staying up to date, but most of the cases it is the push technology that we rely on. And the reason is that if you go for the pull, most of the time it's an urgent, rapid need, but also you don't have time to go for pulling all the time. So you need the information to be readily available for you whenever that you have time to look at it. So push technologies are the ones that we are relying on more to get the information and stay up to date. Let me tell you the story of these two animals and how we are acting like these animals. Squirrels are collectors. They are collecting nuts. They are either taking it to the tree or burying it in the ground. Some actually say that they are the main culprit for the expansion of some of the jungles because they buried the nuts and they forgot where they buried, and that nut becomes a tree later. So squirrels are collecting the PDFs. They are collecting the PDFs in their computer, in their cloud, in different folders. And we may all do that for certain things. Foxes are hunters. They become hungry, they go for the food, they find it, they eat it, and that's it. They don't collect. They just go for it whenever they need it. And we are both of these, depending on the type of the information. In our career, however, most of the times we are squirrels. We are collecting a lot of information, and that information goes into your drive. It lands in your folders, and sometimes it stays there too long that becomes useless. So it is very important to remember that how we are dealing with what sort of information. Are we going to be collectors or hunters? Information management is directly linked with time management. So how you deal with the information to stay up to date depends on two questions. Is that a priority or is it important information? And the second question is, do you have time? If it is a priority and you have time, you must read it. You must read and use that information as soon as possible. The second option is that if you don't want to read it for any reason, you could save it in somewhere very visible. It should not be in a folder that you will not open in weeks. It should be in a folder that you open every day. And it should not be buried in subfolders because it makes it unlikely to find it later. And if it is extremely important and you think that having a physical copy would be helpful in your documents, then you will print it out. Even though it may not be environmental friendly, some of the documents in physical form are more acceptable in certain organizations, and they will ask you to send the copies of this information. If there is no internet, if your laptop is down, if you are out of battery, then the printed information is becoming important. And the final option is either save them permanently in one of your folders that are more permanent or delete them. If the information is important and is a priority, but you have no time, saving in a visible place or printing it and then reading it and then saving or deleting it are the options. But if they are not priority and you have time, that is when you are watching TV, doing entertainment, the first option is to ignore that information because that takes your time, which is your most valuable asset. The second thing is saving it in somewhere invisible. The reason that I'm saying that you save it in somewhere invisible is that you probably will forget it. And if you forget it, at least you haven't wasted time to read it. So you save your time by saving it in somewhere invisible. And then the last option is reading it and then deleting it. And the last one is the information that are not priority and we don't have time for them. It's lots of things that comes from media and social media. And the options are ignore, 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 delete. That way you save your time, and even a minute saved is a minute of your life saved. And collectively these minutes could become years. So that could be life-saving if you don't go for some of the information. So I told you about saving in a file that has a visibility or invisibility. Why it is important? If it has visibility, it will take your attention. It is more likely that you read it. And if it is very important, you print it out and it will be somewhere in front of your eye. And it becomes very important. That's why you want to deal with it. But if you save it somewhere that is invisible, because we are living in digital world and we are having access to unlimited saving spaces in cloud and in hard drives, it is very likely that you will have too much information that you will be lost. And the information that you've saved will be lost. And because we feel secure, because we have it, we have saved it, you say that I have it, so I will read it. Not gonna happen because you're gonna have other priorities. It's gonna be there, and then forgetting happens. Out of sight, out of mind. It is not visible. You are gonna forget about it, and then obsolescence of information. So at the time that you saved it, you felt that security, that mental security that I have this information. But the information becomes old, and when they become old, it's no longer useless, even though you've saved. And around Christmas time, I delete about 1,000 files every year from my computer because the information are no longer relevant or useful. The traditional way to stay up to date are professional bodies. So wherever you are, whatever you are doing, there should be a professional body associated to your profession. What they do, they usually release newsletters. If they are libraries, usually they create something called current awareness services. If they are a library associated to the nephrology department in a hospital, they will send all the great papers, guidelines, anything that comes along about stroke or nephrology to those who have subscription to this current awareness service. A subcategory of current awareness service called selective dissemination of information, that is when you create a profile in a website to say that I'm a cardiologist, I'm a radiologist. Like Trip Database allows you to create such profile, and many other publishers and websites asking you who you are. How do you describe yourself? What are your interests? And based on that, they send you the information that are matching your interest. So as you see, these are push technologies. So you give your email, you give some information, and then they send you the newsletters, the CAS, the SDI, and the information that are related to you. Also, these societies provide learning opportunities. If they are good societies, they usually provide these opportunities for free for their members because members usually have paid to the societies to become members. If they are even great ones, they will have public webinars or learning opportunities. They also publish the standards, professional and practice guidelines that expect all of the professionals to follow. They do accreditation based on the professional information and the practice in their profession. And then they release technical reports. Sometimes they publish journals and they hold conferences. So all of these are sources of information, but some of them could be expensive, time consuming, including conferences. Planning conferences, going to them, and the amount of useful information that you may learn from the conferences is very minimum compared to what you can get from 10 minutes of focused conversation with one person or reading a single paper. So some of these methods are not great, but they are useful to know about if you have time to go to conferences, if you have money to pay for expensive conferences, and if you don't care much about environmental impact of flying to a conference, then that could be something that to consider. So these are the traditional ways. They have been around for decades. Another traditional way that many people still are not using is staying alerted by receiving email alerts. For example, for the funding opportunities, there is a website called Research Professional. It is not free, but many universities in the UK have subscription to it. You could run searches in your field with the keywords related to your field, and it will every week, it will send you any funding opportunity associated to that into your inbox. It is not comprehensive enough, but it is the best source that I've seen so far. Combined with the other methods, such as subscription to the newsletters from the societies and organizations, it could be a good source to find the funding information. For the jobs and PhD opportunities, LinkedIn, jobs.ac.uk, you could run searches, save those searches, and ask the system to send you any updates, any new opportunity associated to your search. So that is the way to stay up to date with your, and there is a saying that looking for jobs is your only full-time job. It means that even though you may have a very secure job, even though you may have a great job that you're happy with, there may always be something better than what you've got. That's why it is important to always have this up-to-date information and get these alerts coming. And then the newsletters that I already mentioned. There are also newsletters that contain some of the information, like the new papers, new guidelines, new documents, and you could get always subscription and receive email alerts. Majority of the journals have table of content alerts. So if you are registered on their online system, they will have an option to send you the new issues that list the list of the papers. Some of them even have new paper alerts, the ones that are publishing papers as they are accepted rather than waiting for the issue. They would also have new paper alerts. All of these are emails coming into your inbox and filling your inbox. Remember that. And then there is citations and new paper alerts that you could chase from Google Scholar. You could follow individual scientists in Google Scholar for their new papers or new citations to their papers, even in Scopus and Web of Science. So they are very useful. And then we have auto search alerts. That is when you design and run a search strategy similar to what I told you about the jobs. And then you save that search strategy in the system and tell the system to send you the updates every day, every week, every month. A majority of the structured information sources, such as bibliographic databases, such as TRIP database, PubMed, Ovid databases, provide this opportunity. So you run the search once, you don't touch it, you just save it there, and then every week, every month, you will be receiving the search alerts, which is a great source of staying up to date. Google and Google Scholar, many people are not using, but if you search for Google Alerts or Google Scholar Alerts, you could actually run searches in Google and Google Scholar and save it and ask Google and Google Scholar to send up-to-date information, search results related to your search into your inbox. They are good sources to identify information from wider web. Google Scholar indexes good grey literature sources that not other databases are indexing, and Google is indexing the web. So you may have access to the blog posts, important blog posts that are relevant to your interest. And then the advice is not to use your work email address for all of these email alerts because they will fill in your inbox, and then it makes it hard for you to find the important information that I mentioned. So the priority information. So using a general email address like a Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail, whichever that you prefer, or Proton, they are good general email addresses that you could use to receive all of these alerts. And then this is something that you could check every day if you want. One way that you could handle your inbox and manage the information entering your inbox is by filtering in Gmail after receiving the first email, or using the rule in Outlook. So they allow you to filter the emails that are coming from certain organizations, certain email address, to take them out of your inbox and put it in a folder automatically. So you sort of automate the information management in your inbox. That's why every morning that you open your inbox, what you see is only the important emails first. The other emails you could later select from the folder that the filter has sent them to, and then look at them later whenever you have time. So that is very important to stay up to date. And then you have the community, the people, networking, and social media. And it is very important if you are using social media to be very careful what organizations you are following, what people are following, what groups you are following. Because if they are general and if they are, let's say, posting about lots of things, it's going to pollute your feed. And what you're going to see is going to be a lot of information that you don't want to. So it is very important to follow the focused people, people who are working on certain fields, certain interests, and you really love majority of their posts, let's say 70, 80% of their posts. It's the same for the organizations. And also there are mailing lists. And honestly, mailing list could be a university. The amount of things that I've learned from the mailing list, I haven't learned in the university. They don't exist on every field, but it is easy to create them. If you look, there are servers that support it. Google Groups is one of them. JISC and JISC.ac.uk is another one that you could use for creating mailing list if you don't have in your community. If you already have a mailing list in your community, in your field, definitely get subscribed to that one. It allows people to email and ask questions or inform people of certain events, certain jobs, certain books published. And that is a way to keep up. And then if you are using social media, the advice is to have two social media accounts, one for work and one for personal use. If people are following me for the information that I'm posting about systematic reviews, evidence synthesis, they may not be interested to see things about the food that I'm eating, but my family members may be interested. Or if I'm traveling somewhere and taking photos of nature, people who are following me, they are following me because of the evidence synthesis and systematic reviews. They are not following me for the nature. So that's why it's important to have two accounts, one professional, one personal, and share the personal one only with the ones that are closer to you and they are in, let's say, first degree, second degree, third degree network. And we have a very old, but probably the golden solution for keeping up to date. They are called RSS reader or feed readers. They are very old. I think I've been using them for over 15 years now. And I started with Google Reader that has been retired. Now I'm using another system called Feedly. I will show you that system. And that allows you to check hundreds of websites in a few minutes. Hundreds of websites in a few minutes. It's using XML technology. XML technology itself is old, then probably 30 years old. You could use actually RSS readers for some of the searches. I told you that you could search and save your search strategy in systems and they will send you alerts. Some of the search systems don't. ClinicalTrials.gov is one of them. You could run a search, but there is no way to save it and receive alerts. Instead, they have RSS feed for the searches. So you could get the RSS feed of that search, and then if there is a new results coming for that search, you will read it in your feed reader. So this is my feed reader. I'm using Feedly, the free version. It also has paid version. It has AI feed as well. So AI could learn from what you are interested in and gives you show you the feeds. You could add the name of the sources. It could be news agency, it could be a journal. Not all websites support RSS, but if they support, you will see that orange famous, yeah, this one. You could see this orange button. Sometimes it is written as RSS on it or sometimes XML on it. But if a website has it, it means that you could add them here. And I have added about 100 here. And I could check that these 100 websites, since last I checked, there are 133 updates. And some of them will not be important. For example, I'm subscribed here for the feed from Harvard Business Review. There are 71 let's say posts or articles, but I haven't checked it. It is not emergency for me. There are 5 from Nottinghamshire News or Nottingham Post. If you look at them, for example, 1 hour ago, there has been post 2 hours ago. And there is a major difference if you are having this information here compared to their website, because here there is no cookie. There is no advertisement. You could read the title and then you could mark them as read, all of them, or read them later. You could add them. I don't advise this because it goes out of sight, out of mind. But still, it could become a time saving just because you don't see the advertisement and you don't deal with the cookies. So if I want to open only one of them, let's see if I could open incognito. So you see that it is loading very slowly because there are lots of ads, lots of content here, and I haven't even seen the title yet. So it is still loading. It asks me for the cookies, and then you have more options here. You have to click here, click there, click reject all the cookies. Otherwise, you will receive advertisement for 5,000 days, some of them. Look at that, 700 partners, 600 partners. So that is where your information shared. I say reject all, save and exit, and then I'm trying to go to the news. And as you go, it asks another question. Keep me updated. I have to say no thanks, extra clicks. And then you go down there, the news starts 2 paragraphs, and then there is an advertisement here that hopefully my browser has blocked. More advertisement here, and then you read another few paragraphs, and then there is another content here. You may also like this one. So you couldn't actually read because there are lots of advertisement. I just wanted to show you how important it is this to have these feed readers. You see the content without having to go to the websites. And you could check, let's say evidence science. I've got only 11 in evidence science. So I have 4 categories business. You could create categories, but 4 of them are free. So I could click on evidence science and see these 11, and that would mean that I have checked about 52 resources in a few minutes without opening their website. So these 11 coming from multiple sources that I'm subscribed. Some of them have no new content. You see that I'm subscribed to Cochrane Evidence Synthesis Methods, BMJ Evidence-Based Medicine, Medical Research Methodology. Aaron Tate is the person with the weblog. Journal of Clinical Epidemiology, there are 2 I'm interested. I would immediately read them. And look at that. The second one is directly relevant to me. Great Note 5, it has been published 21 hours ago. 3 hours ago, there was another one published. You see how up to date you could be. And sometimes that you open them, you will be surprised because it says like 1 minute ago. And I have posted articles published online. And then the authors told me that, how did you find out before us? Because you could really stay up to date with using these systems. And hundreds of websites. You could check hundreds of them without opening a single website. In medicine category, for example, I have major journals. I have 5 from BMJ. 2 days ago, there was robust RCT published. It's an important tool for me to know, to recommend to my colleagues. And then there is JAMA Online first. So feed readers are amazing. If they were not amazing, I wasn't using them for 15 years. They have been more advanced features like AI ones, but I don't need them. I don't use them. If one day I need them, I'd certainly go for it. But that is one way to keep up to date. So that was RSS readers. The modern way that I've started using about 6 months ago is creating a newsletter using BIMS or Biomed News. And if I want to show you how it happens, if you go to biomed.news, it's a very simple. There is no advertisement. There is no cookies. It's a very simple website. And the guy who has created it is one of the genius guys, the guy behind the economic preprint working papers, Repek. And you can see that here there's his name and his colleague from the UK who has created this system. You could see the existing newsletters, they are called reports, or you could open a report yourself. If you go for open report, it asks for your email address, and then you give a title to your report. So the title of my report was I think, Artificial Intelligence in Evidence Synthesis. And then you need to add, it should be at least 6 characters, I think. Otherwise, it will not accept it. I will show you why mine is RNS, because there's artificial intelligence in evidence synthesis. And then it asks you to give one PM ID of a relevant paper to the newsletter, at least one. I gave 30 because I had a list, so I gave it. So what happens after that? You receive username and password to log into the system, and the system will run a search and send you the records to a screen. So what happens is that every Saturday night, exactly at 12, I receive an email like this that tells me that we've got 53 papers for you to choose from. And then it gives the entropy, and I don't want to go to the details, but you can click on the link, get into, so that is my username and password. I get into the system. It tells you how to do the screening fast with arrow keys and space key. So this is the list of papers. The ones that are relevant, the first one is relevant, I tick it. The second one is relevant, I tick it. The third one, maybe, no. And then when I'm finished, there is a select. At the bottom, I say select. Go for the next stage. It allows you to select again, so that double check what you selected. So I said that actually this one is not relevant, so I unticked it. It shows in red, it means unticked. And you say, this is my list. It says that check it. If you want, you could sort it, put some of them higher than the others, and then you finish. It says that I cannot find any issue for you to work on. There is nothing left for you to do. Toodlepeep. Who uses Toodlepeep these days? And then that is what happens. Not only myself receive it as newsletter, but also anyone subscribed to my newsletter receive these 6 papers. So I keep up, but I'm not selfish enough. That's why I let other people to keep up as well. So when you subscribe to any of the newsletters, let me show you. So this is the one that I created. There are others down here, but mine is BIMS RNS. There are 66. I think there should be more than that. Subscribe to it. I cannot see the subscriber's name. I cannot see their emails. I cannot send any advertisement to them. And it was 6 months every week that I've been doing this and sending papers related to AI and evidence synthesis to these people without knowing who they are. So this is the best system I've seen for creating newsletter. It uses machine learning and human in the loop approach. It means that they send you papers, you select them, and then if the papers are a lot, so I was receiving like 200 in the beginning. I emailed Thomas and I said that, look, the machine learning is good. All of the relevant papers come up on top. Please make it 100. Cut it into half. And then it became 100. Now it is about 50. Because the machine learning learns each time. After 6 months, it has become so good. And it also tells you that when you subscribe this, you should expect to receive roughly 3 papers per issue. And all of the previous issues are here. It is public. Anyone can see and use it. It's the best system I've seen for creating a newsletter without violating anyone's personal information, violating anyone's privacy, collecting their data, nothing. So that is another one to remember, and hopefully either you will find one of them that is relevant and you subscribe, or you will start one. And if you start one, let your colleagues know, because if you are spending 5-10 minutes every Monday morning or Sunday morning on something, let the others enjoy the outcome of it, not just yourself. If you go to the subscribers, there are some of them are like 5 subscribers, 10 subscribers. So if you do something like this, share it with the community, let them know that it exists and they will subscribe. And it is good because it's sort of you are communicating with your community, you are helping them. But let's go away from that machine learning part slightly and go to the learning opportunities that you have in YouTube and LinkedIn. So by the way, now people refer to the YouTube as University of YouTube because it is becoming better and better every year. 9, I think, years ago that I started using it, it wasn't that good. It was so dependent on algorithm. It was very similar to what TikTok is now, but now they have improved and they have become better. So many scientists actually are now using YouTube as their main platform for teaching. And why it is important. You know that there are many people are living in countries that they cannot access the education that we could access so easily. Many people cannot access the world-class education, the most up-to-date information, methods. They cannot simply because they are not here. Even if they want to come, there are so many barriers for them. But if we could provide this information, this education to them, it will be much better to make a fair world. It will be more equitable world. They will have access to the same education that others can. So it is great opportunity for many. And there has been at least 2 futuristic reports showing that these 2 social media are gonna be the science social media in the future. So they are gonna survive all the waves that's happening. Instagram, Twitter, I think these ones were the ones that are more likely to get separated from the scientific world. So these 2 are the ones that I'm gonna focus on from now on. I don't focus much on the other social media. I just focus on these 2, and the research shows that they are going to survive. And then user is in control when you are using these 2 systems. Unlike what happened to Twitter or X, you still have control here. With a bit of education, you could get most of YouTube, and then you can create the content. You are not just a user of the content. You could create content, and it is so easy that even a person like me that is very busy could create the content and put it on YouTube. And I encourage people to do that, to have your own media rather than sitting in front of the media to dictate how you should think and what you should think and what you should do. You could be your own media and start creating this content in your field. And there has been huge improvement in their user experience and user interface. And that is one of the reasons that I advise people to use it. And LinkedIn has become the main source for finding job, and it is even replacing the resumes. Now, when people apply for job, people Google them and check their LinkedIn or Google Scholar. So it has become very important to have an active LinkedIn profile as a side thing to your career development. It's part of your career development to have a good social media presence, to have a good Google Scholar, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So this is YouTube. It could be very frustrating when you're searching for information. I just searched for systematic review, my field. The first one is sponsored. It's advertisement. Now it's a better word for the sponsorship. It's called promoted or sponsored rather than advertisement. The second one has been viewed for about 300,000 times from someone who hasn't published a single systematic review in their life. And the third one, that should be the first one, is from Cochrane, that has been viewed even more, over 400,000 times. And it is down there. It means that the algorithm, you need to know how the algorithm work, and they care about the number of subscribers more than anything else, it seems. Because Cochrane is the best source for it should have come up. So I realized I just looked around to see why this is happening and how I could overcome the fear of using YouTube and use it efficiently. And then I found guides that actually the best way to search is not simple search, it is filters. So it has something called filters in top right side. You could see that. And if you go there, you could filter and do a better search. And in filter, you could filter your search to the channels about systematic review. Because many people have created content about systematic review just to get views. They have created how to feed your dog, and they have another video about the systematic review as well. So because this is YouTube, anyone can create anything. It is likely that you will have lots of low quality information. But if there is a channel about systematic review or something like that, it will be very relevant. You could even watch movies here. The last option in the types is movie. There are some of the movies that you could watch on YouTube. And if you are worried about advertisement in YouTube, there are ways to handle it. I'm sure you know, you don't tell anyone, but there are ways. If you look around, you will find the ways to not to see any advertisement. So by channel, I get these results, which is much better. So the first one, again, seems that not very relevant, but these are my subscriptions. So with the channels, I've subscribed to these ones because I think they are relevant. There are 44 channels. If there was time, I will show you what channels I'm subscribed. So it is like TV channels. Instead of watching, let's say, channel 4, I'm watching JBI, and their channel is very up to date. They are posting videos right and left, and they are all useful. When subscribing, the options are there's a subscription, and then there is notification. If you like to receive notification, it means that when people publish in this channel a new video, you will notified when you go to YouTube. You could also change your settings even to receive email if they do that. But notifications are good if the content is 100% relevant to you. If they are not, you could select the second option, which is personalized. It means the channel that I'm subscribing posts everything about anything, but I don't want all of the content. I only want the content that are relevant to me based on my history of browsing in YouTube. And I told you that you should have two accounts with this. So the account that you see is my professional account, not personal account. If you listen to music and all of that, that should be in your personal account. And then you could always unsubscribe whenever you don't want that channel or the channel becomes inactive. If you go to your subscription section after subscribing to the channel, similar to the feed reader that I showed you, RSS reader, you will have videos that are coming from your subscriptions here. And look at that. Those are exactly the things that I want. Those are exactly the content that are relevant to me, and I want to know about them. So as you can see, the last one is from JBI. I really love to get content coming from channels like JBI and Cochrane. And you can see that it has been posted 2 days ago and it's received 56 views. So that is how you could keep up. It is better than TV. It is better than going to the webinars like this one. It is better than sitting in the classroom in a lecture. And you could actually listen to many of these. Not you don't have to watch all of them. Some of them are good for podcasting. If you are driving, if you are cycling, you could just open one of them and listen as a podcast. And then the good videos. So if you want to create a content that is suitable for the users, or if you know if the content creator has made good job, you look at the description of the video. Description is very important because that is the part that it helps the search, but also it allows you to do the chaptering in the video. So this is an example of a webinar that I did. That was a couple of weeks ago, probably. And then I did the chaptering. It means I watched it and I chaptered it so that you don't have to watch all of it if you don't want to. If you want to scan through or skip and watch the certain section, you could just select it from description. YouTube does provide chaptering automatically, but it is never as good as what a content creator can do for the users. And I do that. I spend time on this because I've got about 700 subscribers and I respect them. And if you respect your subscribers, you would do that. It helps them to not to waste their time. People who create videos, long videos, without having this, they want to fill in their hours, reach a point to get paid by YouTube. So it is very important to be user-friendly, and your users have the options to watch 1 minute rather than 1 hour if they want to. So the bottom line of this conversation is that you need to minimize the information that you're receiving and maximize the knowledge. That is very important because with information, we are not going to end up anywhere. There's so much information we cannot handle it. You need to be screen through them, find the knowledge, find the processed organic information. How? Reviews and videos. Reviews or literature reviews are great if they have been written or created, if they are videos created by the experts, because they could give you the gist of hundreds of papers. So the webinar that I did 2 weeks ago, for that one, I had to read about 30, 40 papers to be able to create that content for that webinar. And for that one, there are people who were doing data extraction and they were only interested in data extraction part. So they watched only 3 minutes. Can you imagine how much time is saved that instead of reading 30 papers, you watch 3 minute video? So it is very important that we go for the content that is organic and the knowledge rather than the information. And then the systematic reviews or independent reviews of tools or sources or products. It is very important that when you are looking for making a decision to go for this systematically reviewed literature, independent review of anything that you want to do, you want to buy, or you want to pursue, even a career. So it is very important that you go for the knowledge as much as you can. And then realize when to read rather than watch, because usually we have the same information right now presented to us in multiple formats. Some of the journals have started creating videos of their papers, 2 minute, 3 minute videos, because they know that people don't have time. And that sends you a message that you should start your YouTube channel soon, because no one is going to read your papers. And I'm being honest. So for the news, it is better to read the news rather than watch them, because when you're watching the news, you don't have much option to control. If you're watching it on the TV, let's say, but when you're reading the news, you could skip 10 of them just based on the headline and go for the one that you want and skip through the paragraphs and easily. And after a while, you get the pattern of the way that news has been reported. So you know that the first paragraph is not going to give you much. You need to start from the second or third paragraph, for example. And then that saves your time rather than watching the news for an hour. And then in LinkedIn as well, it is better to read the posts, the short posts that are in LinkedIn. Many people summarize the key points of a paper or any document and put it there. That will be a lot of time saved for you. And if you are interested, you could always save that document to read later. And there are times that actually watching is better than reading. So I've realized that many of my students don't read books when I introduce them to the books. I gave them, this is the Cochrane Handbook, this is the JBI manual. These are great, and they ask for the videos. They ask for the content on YouTube, or even one of them says a TikTok video that can teach me to do the systematic review in 3 minutes. So this is the new generation coming. Lots of information. They don't have time to read the books. They don't have time to read the papers. We need to change the way that we are teaching. Our teaching system is old. We are putting 30 different people, 30 different people in the same classroom, same time, same place, and giving them same content, expecting a miracle. But these are 30 different people. They have 30 different learning style, and they should have that option to go for it. Some of them enjoy reading, a few of them. Some of them love to watch a video, and a few of them do nothing until they are involved in a project. So it is very important to give them the option, and then critically appraise any source that you are going to use to keep up. So if you're using a channel, a video channel, YouTube channel, assess and appraise the video that you are watching rather than the channel. And if you see a good video, share that video with your colleagues rather than telling them this channel is great, because there are so many videos in a channel that you couldn't access all of them. So if you introduce a channel to people and then they go and watch some of the videos and they don't like, it will be bad for you. So it is very important when you are recommending or watching video, assess video by video rather than channel. If you are introducing a channel that is very focused, introduce that channel. Say that Andrew's channel in YouTube, rather than saying that YouTube, I watch it on YouTube, because YouTube, probably most of it are going to be useless. They are entertainment, because that is what people want nowadays. And then when About the papers, if there is a paper, it's a good paper, say that this paper is great. Don't say that the journal is great, and assess the content that you're receiving from that paper and based on the paper. So if you read a good paper in a journal, it doesn't mean that journal is amazing. I have seen amazing papers published in predatory journals, horrible journals, because people were not aware of what they are doing, and they have published a good paper in that journal. The pity, it is a waste, but it is a good paper. And then, if there is a good journal with lots of content, always recommend, critically appraise and recommend the journal rather than the publisher. Don't say that is the Elsevier journal, Wiley journal. It doesn't mean anything. If there is a good journal, say that this journal is a good one. Read it or subscribe to it. And then in an organization, when you are dealing with people, if you are going to their webinar, if you are sitting at their teaching, always say that that person, that individual is providing great content rather than saying that that organization is great. So if lost, I tell people at this one, throw a map. And what does that mean? So I've collected all these papers coming from BIMS and from PubMed and all of that. In nested knowledge, you have the opportunity to create one free project, and I have done that. And then you could put the papers there, organize them, and share it publicly. This is public, open for everyone. This is all of the papers about automation of systematic reviews. I put all of them here, and you could filter them out. Show that it is simple. So I just uploaded the papers and started tagging them. And if you want to know the papers about, let's say, that are using cloud, a large language model for data extraction step. So I come to the steps and I select data extraction. And there you go, there are 8 papers about it. And you could actually filter if you want to filter it to other aspects. Or narrow down your filtering, but you could have access all of the papers, all of the source in one place. So all of the papers that I collected through, let me show you how I collected them. So this is PRISMA 2009, PRISMA 20. So this is the source of papers. So I have collected some of them from PubMed search, and then I have collected them from BIMS RNS, the newsletter that I showed you. Bibliomining, it's a feature in this nested knowledge system that gets the citations, the references of the uploaded paper PDF. Daily PubMed email alerts that I already told you. So I'm preaching water and drinking water. So I'm following all of the things that I told you. And then from my personal archive. So I put all of them together so the public can actually use it. Anyone can access it in Sunburst format or Dendrogram. And you could either zoom in to see each one of them, or you could filter to see the papers. So the papers about Cloud 2, or I could remove the filter, or this one. So that way you could have access to the papers relevant to you. So that is what I did. I collected all this information and decided to share it with public. And that is how I don't get lost, and the people who are interested in this field won't. So the bottom line, get the subscription, filter the emails in your inbox, create a newsletter if it doesn't exist in your field, and ask people to subscribe to it. It's a few minutes of your time every weekend or Monday morning, but it will keep your community up to date. And draw a map, create evidence map of field of interest that you have, as long as it is not that big. And then one project is free in nested knowledge. So that way you will keep your community up to date. There will be more webinars coming. Yes, Feedly is free. It has a free version that I'm using. I've been using Feedly for 8, 9 years now for free. It definitely is good. I haven't seen any notification in Feedly. I don't think it has, but you look around, there might be there, or they might be another feed reader. Feedly is one of them. There are many feed readers. Thank you, Tom. Tom says that actually creating RSS feed function is still there in PubMed. I apologize. Thank you for correcting me. You could perform a search first and then create RSS. is an option below the search box in blue. Thank you. I didn't know that. Anna, one report in BIMS. Thank you for sharing it. I think with different email address, maybe. I don't think there was actually a limitation to BIMS, but with different email address, you could always create another one. But it is a great source. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Tom, for saying that you are distrustful on LinkedIn for two reasons: the lack of openness and the relentless evidence-free self-promotion of most users. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You are right. Now we are living in attention economy, unfortunately, and visibility is very important. You can imagine that the young generation want the fame very fast. That's why they are presenting, oh, I'm going to present this poster in this conference and this is great. Now I'm on the train and going there and all of that. They are promoting themselves to create a profile, to create that vibe and get known. That's why they could easily get into the jobs. If they don't do this promotion and this advertisement of themselves as a product in a capitalist society, they may stay behind. So that is the reason people are promoting. But the way that I'm using it is different. I don't post every day. I post when I have something really useful to say. That's why I said that it's very important who to follow. I'm following, let's say, Paul Glasio, for example. I'm following the prominent people in our field, and that's why they are less likely to put low quality content. Less clarity, people and organizations are using it different ways. Yes, that's why it is very important to screen this sort of content, but they are going to be around, these two. So there is a Future Institute, and they have released a report showing that these are the ones that are people using and they are going to use in the future, unlike the other social media. I mean, it is the same with YouTube. There are lots of low quality content, but you have to screen through them. Oh, yes, absolutely. Let me just give you the link. It is not complete. I still need to um, add 150 more papers, but go ahead, enjoy it. Why not? That is the link. And then limitations for creating your own report. After sometimes you can create another one when you learn, yes, how to use it. Yes, absolutely. I have only created one, so I didn't know actually people are using it for multiple reports, but that is amazing resource. It is free. It respects your privacy. There is no cookies, no advertisement. Definitely go for it. For maintaining notes or important um, stats you may want to come back to. So to be honest, for the notes, I'm still using the one that I've got in my phone. That is the Google Notes that I'm using it. But to be on the practical side, if I'm saving notes, I use the notepad and I save it in the folder that is relevant to the topic. So if it's about a paper, about anything, I usually use that. But there are many tools, online tools that I've seen that people are using. If there are any, please post it here so the others could enjoy it. So yes, I showed you how to, in this slide, how to open a report. I know that we are over an hour, so if you would like to leave, please do. I showed you the feed reader. This is an example of RSS feed that you could get from ClinicalTrials.gov. That is a good alternative for lack of email alerts. Let me show you. I have subscribed 44 channels. Let me see if I could show what channels. So to save you time, if you are related to So I'm subscribed to YouTube creators because I'm learning. JBI is my top one in the list of 44. They are creating new content. Trip database is good. There are some libraries. There are some people that I'm subscribed to. And among them, I would say that, so some of the tools that I'm interested in, I'm subscribed to. And then there are people like Andrew Booth. He's got good subscriber. He hasn't posted anything in 4 years, but still some of the videos are important, so I watch them occasionally. Georgia Salanti is not bad, not very up to date, but the videos are always good about network meta-analysis, let's say. There are again tools that I'm subscribed to keep up with them. And then there is Richard Riley, both individual patient level data meta, Carey Price, the best YouTube channel on systematic searching, and then Cochrane, obviously. So these are my channels. I hope that you enjoyed it, and there will be more coming. Hopefully, if you could make it. If you couldn't make it, obviously YouTube channel is there. Please subscribe to support future content. I'm gonna have so many webinars coming like this, and you don't have to even attend. You just need to register to get the notification. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy your evening, your morning, your noon, your afternoon, and see you in the next time in the next webinar.